There, this is Laura Brandenburg, the creator of Bridging the Gap, and I wanted to jump in and talk to you today about what to do when we hear from the development team that, that's impossible. I know I've heard that in my career. We actually just had it come up with a course participant last week that she had this beautiful business need that had come out in a really exciting way to help the business, and she brought it to the developer, and he's like, nope, we can't do that. It would require re-engineering the whole database, and it's way too big, right? Or impossible is what he said. And the reframe on that, we're going to talk about 3 steps that you can take and 3 things to think about when that happens. But the reframe is that, everything's possible. It just maybe isn't feasible given the budget that you have, the timeline that you have, and the current technology you have. So impossible really means we would have to spend 3 months reworking the database to solve the problem in the way that she presented the solution to that developer. And that could be totally true. And, that developer maybe is like, I know I have 10 other things on my list and nobody's going to approve this. And that really is what impossible often means. So the first thing you want to do is really unpack, what does impossible mean? Because it's never that it's not actually possible. It's usually that it's not feasible given a certain set of assumptions. And the more you understand that, the better that you can do as a business analyst to come up with a feasible solution to the true business need. And so that's the second thing you want to do, is clarify what the true business need is. So in this case, as we do, it's so easy to do, the business came up with a solution, right? They're like, we want these specific data elements removed from our process. And the developer's like, we can't do that. Those data elements are connected to all kinds of other things, and it has an impact on reporting, and it has an impact on other parts of the application that aren't even touched by those business stakeholders. But, it has this broader impact when they were just seeing let's just remove those 3 fields on the screen and then our problem is solved. So that isn't really the business need. What was the business need driving the removal of those fields? It was really how they were setting goals with their clients, and it was there's a deeper need there of their work performance was being tracked based on something that they couldn't control, right? So that's that's a huge thing, and there's a lot of factors that go into resolving that, not just the technology. So that is the first lesson, is look at the true business need so that you can understand the true scope of the solution, which may or may not be the just the technology, right? And so then the third, that's me looking at my notes there. So then the third piece, we talked about reframing what impossible means, finding out that true business need so that you can go back to the developer with a business need instead of a business solution to the problem. And then the third piece is to figure out a way to collaborate to move forward. So really what needed to happen from there is, let's get a couple of the key business stakeholders together with that technology stakeholder. Maybe there's some other people to be involved, and let's talk about that business need, and let's brainstorm together possible solutions to this problem. And that aren't necessarily remove those fields completely. Maybe they can be disabled. Maybe different content can be captured in those fields. Maybe they can be made optional, all kinds of different possibilities, and at least give the group the benefit of having some time to talk through that and to come up with possible solutions that may or may not be what the business originally presented. And oftentimes our best developers are going to come up with really creative solutions once they understand that true business need. And our jobs as BAs is really to be in the middle of that process, so that we're communicating, helping our business understand, the business stakeholders understand what their true need is and not just what they see the solution as, and then helping the technical stakeholders come up with solutions that meet those underlying needs. And this is what we do as a business analyst. And so when that example came up with in class, I was just so excited. I was like, okay, this is where the real juicy stuff happens that we get to deal with as BAs, and this is a totally normal thing to have happen. That participant, I think, was a little frustrated. Why did this happen? I finally had this great idea, and it just got brushed aside. No, it's an opportunity for us to step up, for us to engage, for us to really facilitate facilitate solving the true problem to be solved there. And so it's not, the time to step back, it's the time to step in, but to step in a much different way than just like, really, you can't do this? Let me show you how it's possible, right? It's not stepping in to force the developer into a specific solution. It's stepping in to facilitate that collaboration process so that the most possible value can be delivered from the technology in the best possible way. So that's a lot of what we do as business analysts, and that's my quick tip for you today. Again, this is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and we help mid-career professionals start business analyst careers. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back soon.